You're just in time. Saved you a seat for the Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find aimed at male self improvement. My sole objective tonight is to try and convince you you are not actually as lonely as you feel. The male loneliness epidemic. So, basically, just a whole lot of dudes nowadays, of all ages, just all age ranges. I'll try to stick to American modern male human beings between the ages of 18 and 40 years old. Maybe specifically in this demographic. I mean, what is that? That's a whole bunch of millennials. Let's go. My dudes right there, the millennials. And the Zoomers, there's some alphas in there as well. Alphas in there as well. Yep. And just all of us doing our own thing by ourselves all the time. And so now it is being called an epidemic. Ugh, how dare all these guys live like that? Don't you, as if there's some reporter out there actually with the microphone, you know, just approaching these lone wolves and lone gangs and asking them, why do you live like this? Like, why do you do it every single day? Don't you need human interaction? Would you not want to be a part of this lovely society? Right? The rat race and play the game and, grind and try and chase success and all that good stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely quite the experience. It is what most people would say that is the only route. It's the only viable pathway for guys to really make it. I mean, I'll make this kind of unique for you. Just have everything that you're looking for out of life. Your own individual hopes and dreams. Exactly what is that, bro? And so society would have us be convinced joining it, you know, going through the typical route of maybe a 9 to 5, holding down some kind of job where, you have a boss and then trying to, work it long enough that you get promoted high up enough. You can own your own home. You got the home. Then you can see what's up with the wifey. And then when the wifey is secure, that's usually when you can start, popping out as many kids as you and your missus decide upon. Now, we have a whole lot of guys living today that are doing the exact opposite of that. That they have no desire whatsoever to build a family of their own. All right. Do what so many generations before us did with the stereotypical, you get older, you get a job, you hold it down, and you have your own family. And that's really it. And I'm not knocking on that at all. Personally, I really do view the whole, wife, children, and a job, God forbid, a job you enjoy, and you put that all together. That's a wonderful life. To me, it absolutely is. That is some of the most beautiful treasures a man could behold. If you're going to try and specifically talk about the modern male human experience. So then that does beg the question: why do we have? Would you be included? I definitely was for years and years and years and years. So many that are choosing to go about it all by themselves. I think to begin with, a lot of the pain that a man can feel from being alone all the time is very unwilling. So there's only so much you can control in life. I mean, how much of it can you really dictate on a daily basis that you're able to, oh, I will be able to, wake up next to somebody, have my first meal of the day, have breakfast with someone I I like, and then go to work and work with people I like and people I care about. You know, have you ever heard this before at your job? Oh, we're not. This is not just a business. We're a family here. But it's just way too many businesses, companies, whatever, just workplaces will say that and use that term, and it's like, no, absolutely not. Everybody wants to kill each other here. This is the opposite of a nice family, but when it's very real and it's true, I mean, that so right there has to be one of the most satisfying experiences for any human soul. And that's connection right there. This unwillingness is because it's very natural for, however lonely a man feels, it's part of his biology, his psychology. It's just to be human. The way I see it is to long for, it is to yearn a a bond of some sort with another human being. We flourish in numbers. That's just kind of, strength in numbers, as they say. That's humanity's thing right there. We kind of took over everything with that exact concept. I just there's there are all sorts of beasts, wild animals and whatnot. Okay. You know, throw aliens in there, okay? Throw mythological beasts in here. I don't know, wendigos and werewolves and vampires and all sorts of freaky deaky monsters and stuff like that. You maybe you believe in this stuff, maybe you don't. My point is there absolutely is a whole ton of, you know beings, creatures, animals, and whatnot that exist on the same planet that we do, that would absolutely whop you and me in a 1v1. It wouldn't even be close. Okay. But hey, no worries, because we still made it to the top of the food chain together. There is no other way to do it. So now you fast forward into this modern world of ours, and I will, got to give credit where it's due. It's pretty sweet to have all your basic necessities. I mean, not to take them for granted, but it's not really something to worry about. I mean, no, no, no. That is not everyone, but it's enough of us. It's enough men. I'll just stick to the United States. Okay, we'll keep it to the 50 states. And there's enough of us walking around where, every single day, like clothes, food, shelter, water, electricity, and whatnot. Can't forget about the internet. It's crazy. The internet is a staple now. And, like that is considered a staple nowadays as well. Um, I mean, you just look around you, really, how could it not be? And you put all those things together, and yeah, it's fine. It's really not that serious. That doesn't mean it's easy. That it can be very difficult to maintain. These aspects of survival, even in this day and age. But when you are, then it feels like everything else after that is optional. It's a bonus. I just mentioned kind of uncontrollable. Okay. I mean, the goal is for you to have as much control as possible, but I mean, it's almost a lost cause in this way, because you have all this time. You're okay. Bills are paid. Your job is fine. You have your place, and then everything else after that, when you don't want it to be, is exactly what you always do by yourself over and over and over and over again. This kind of life, it grinds you. Feels like you are on a treadmill that you can't get off of. Where you are going is nowhere, kind of just running in place, where your daily experiences are being repeated week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. So, is that really loneliness? Or is it is there a deeper issue below the loneliness here, where the real problem is the enjoyment of your own life? That immediately one can think, I mean, that, well, as much as I could enjoy my own life, that has that's kind of separate from the issue of having someone else with me to enjoy it. And I actually would agree with that. But I think that a lot of guys dealing with the pain of loneliness are underestimating what I see as a vast gap between a a lonely life. Okay, I want to try to make this so clear: a lonely life and a life you love in which you are alone. That is the ultimate difference. I think that separates everything. So I'll try to start right here, because you're working. It's very difficult to talk about loneliness and not acknowledge a few of these, what I call laws of existence. And I call them laws because they're very uncontrollable. You can't do anything about them. They're just going to continue alongside you. In the same way, for you to be alive, you will continue to breathe. You gotta sleep. I hope you're sleeping. Get your 8 hours, and that's what allows you to transition into the next day, to continue your life. You know, that's that's just my little terminology for it. Okay, these kind of rules to your reality. So as you continue along, and whether you intentionally wanted to go this way, I mean, I think a ton of guys um, are very intentional with their choices and their decisions in order to specifically curate a lifestyle for themselves that they don't have to deal with anyone. Hey, where my introverts at? Am I would say I am too. I'm a bit of a mix. It's weird for me. It's like introverted here, but then extroverted over here, and then I'm all over the place. But the point is that if you find yourself a lot more introverted in life, then yeah, that does kind of sound pretty attractive. You know, you being your own boss. Okay, we'll separate work, but I'm talking about the rest of your life. When what it really is, just like, okay, you're home, or you're wherever on your own time. What do you want to do? That kind of freedom. I mean, it is quite liberating, though it doesn't feel like that, because when it hurts, and that's how guys will be able to emotionally, mentally, logically identify loneliness as an issue in their lives, is that no, it doesn't feel so sweet. It feels torturous. But you see, I need you to look at, well, if it feels like that, what exactly is torturing you? I would say, brother, it is all this time that you have by yourself. So then you have to look at it like this. One of the greatest counters for any man, to the best of his own ability, I mean, yes, results will vary, but for any man to apply this and mitigate, alleviate as much of the suffering as possible, that 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 begs the how should I say, the golden question of tonight: what are you doing to utilize all of that time? That's what it really comes down to. Now you might be way ahead of me. You see where I'm trying to go, and you might be rolling your eyes. If you're doing that, it might be because Kumo's gonna insert hard work and the purpose and the grind, and if you're chasing something, it's really not that bad. You might as well spend the time, working towards goals, hopes, and dreams and whatnot. I would actually completely agree with all of that. Yes, I would be saying do all of that, but there are no rules to it's just there is no kind of written legislation anywhere in this world to say, oh well, in the United States, within the borders of the US, there's no um, there's nothing stopping you from creating for yourself a hope, a dream that you just want peace, that you could live with joy, that it it's like, yes, you might be alone, but that does not have to hurt you. And maybe, I kind of started this whole argument with, I mean human beings are built in that way though. We naturally seek and desire, tribe connection, the squad, the homies, the lover, the wifey. You at some point have to let go of some of that control that you might feel as though you should have. In this way, I will say, in this way, life is very brutal. It's harsh because the universe doesn't really take into account our feelings, regardless of how strong they may be. I I would be doing so much better if I had a person in my life, this kind of person, very specific. Oh, could she have this length of hair, this height, look like this, okay, with the body and all that, very, very, very specific. But I mean, even getting away from love and romance and women, I mean, just people in general. And when you don't have that, so that's when it feels like life is forcing you to continue, all right, living it the way you always have been. And that's where this unwillingness comes from. The transformation into being able to enjoy all this time that you are alone, it has to start with you. This right here, and it sounds so contradictory, but it doesn't have anything to do with anyone else, because it's just you. All right, the the idea, the feeling, whatever the thought, however much, however often it might be plaguing you, it it doesn't serve you in any way. You don't need it. You have to do your best to let that part of your life go. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the expectation that there should be somebody here. When you if you're able to put yourself in that kind of space, I just believe that you're able to open yourself up more to all of this possibility. Okay, you have to understand there is a duality with everything, two sides to every coin. And it's so easy to be hyper focused on, oh God, like, my place is so quiet. It's only ever just me. And I mean, It's so real. I see. I meet all sorts of people because of my job, and so many people. I'm not judging in any way. They're doing just fine. Living their life, doing their thing, and like what more could you ask for at the end of the day? But a lot of pet owners. That's a big one right there. Dogs and cats, too, right? Because again, that yearning for the presence of, oh, hey, this is an entity, alive and breathing, tangible, physical. I love my cat, I love my dog, love my pet so much, and I will choose to believe they love me right back. Okay, with dogs, that's I will say I'm biased towards dogs. For with dogs, that's definitely a certainty. And maybe you don't want any pets. I actually don't. I Nothing against pets. Yeah, they're dope. But when you are acknowledging you're in this for the long haul, you're going to be here for as long as you are alive. I want you to be able to enjoy that as much as possible. And so understand separating all these externalities, okay, which is just people, things, expectations, desires, and whatnot, wants and needs outside of you. No, bro. I would say you look within. This is where it gets pretty crazy now. That though I'm saying it like this because I really do believe like this is the surefire way. You have to go this way if you're serious about being able to smile. No, not the crazy psycho Joker one. No, like an actual smile. Okay, like you are happy. You feel joy. You know what smile I'm talking about, bro? You're glad to be here. Regardless of what is happening, it's just like, you know what? It's better than being dead. This is I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I get to keep going, and I'm glad I get more of what? More of life. To eradicate this lonely feeling, which again is kind of that lonely feeling, the pain of it, that's right along the lines of I don't want my life because it's just me. But is it actually because it's just that man, or is it the way that he is living it? If that could change, you have to believe it is absolutely. You got to have some faith here that you can be a person able to enjoy the time you have to yourself. If right now in your life it's it's just you, it's always just you for however long it's already been like that, that's fine. That's fine. To believe that it's permanent, okay? To put faith in, the negativity that forever alone, I will die alone. I'm never going to meet anybody, worthwhile or whatever. I'm never going to be able to have that chance at love or maybe a true friendship or whatnot, connection, bond. That's no way to live. But but I mean, as cliche or obvious as that sounds, that is far from just loneliness. That's kind of everything in life that, getting back to these laws of existence, you are not able to control. Loneliness is one of the biggest ones, to be honest. Here's the thing. It's like, yes, of course, you can sign up for clubs, you can go to meets, you can, yeah, and I recommend it. Actually, I just, for all the introverts, all my introverted kings looking at me right now, y'all just like, what kind of solution is that? No, I really not. I totally feel that, bro. I don't really even put myself out there like that. But I do have to say, No, bro, not to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so much better than you. Okay, yeah, because I'm a podcaster. You listen to me. In fact, subscribe to me and continue listening to me. It's really not like that. But to keep it real, I'm very honest with you when I say I'm able to look forward to my own life a lot more nowadays. And that's kind of what inspired, really tonight's deep dive. I'm only able to do that because I mean the realization is so I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it's just going to be me. It's just going to be me. Even though it's just me, it is my own choice. It is within my control whether or not I live it joyously. Okay, brother, that's got nothing to do. I mean, it can. Oh, it absolutely can. I mean, this is a self-improvement podcast. But the point is, that doesn't have to pertain to the grind, to work, to chasing success, or, because, okay, whatever your opinion is on this, hey, by all means, let me know down in the comments below. But I feel as though any man is already living quite a successful life if he can feel the joy and passion within himself to to continue living as himself by himself. That is something very special right there. And the only way to do that is to understand it all comes down to what you do. These are your own actions. They don't have anything to do with anyone else. You might want them to. The desire, oh yeah, like a girlfriend, a wife, or like, a big group of friends, or whatever. Okay. I mean, it's not to say any man is weak or pathetic, okay, or needy or anything like that, because he is having these feelings of, I don't know, a nice family, we're talking about, you know, I want this to be everything. Everything, I'm going over. I want this to be applicable for really any man dealing with a situation of loneliness. That's all walks of life. This is, I mean, life is tragic in this way. It can get really awful. Of course, you have guys out here who grew up through tragedy, lost a lot of loved ones. I mean, that's why they're alone. I mean, you have guys, you have some guys. They kind of self destruct. They make a series of bad choices and decisions, end up alienating people that when they were younger they had something with. It's like life is complicated. It's very complex in this way, and that's okay. Whatever happened. It is to be learned from, and that's it. you know right, because there's no use, okay, drudging it up, right, repeating it, replaying it, all right, again and again. It's like, no, it's really not necessary. After learning from it, now really all your only job is to do what you will with the time that you do have, that is right now. Too many men don't want to have anything to do with that current moment. I feel too lonely. I don't even want to be here. It's just, oh God, it's just, it's just me. It's like, and the frustration and the anger there, and especially you guys really pent up. You guys, right? And that's where the trick of vice comes in to try and save it. Oh, but drink this and drink it all the time, you'll be just fine. Like smoke this, smoke it all the time, you'll be just fine. Whatever vice. No, none of that ever helps. It can numb you from it. It can sedate the issue. But again, my whole thing, my whole spiel tonight is to help you get at the core, at the very root of the issue, so you can solve it. It cannot be refuted. I just Like I try and rebuttal myself all the time. So it's like, hey, is the stuff I'm talking about on here sound? And this one, no man can argue the fact that when it's just you in life, you got a whole lot of time. And you might see the pain is you don't want it. Oh, well, I don't want to deal with all of this me and me. Okay. Like, can I do it with somebody else? But that's not even a part of it. Right. That's that has nothing to do with the situation itself. Your reality as it is unfolding, for you every single day is that it is just you. So now the choice is, what will you do? What will you do about that? And one thing that really helps is to understand you're free in this way. You'll never be more free. I I understand. I understand the agony of too much freedom, but that only exists. Too much freedom will only happen if you're just not able to use it. If you're just not able to keep up with all that time that you're being given, that you absolutely can do. That's what changes everything for you, bro. Okay. There is, you know, friendships, relationships, just connection with other human beings. It's not, all sunshine and rainbows. Obviously, we all know this deep down. It's very not. I mean, it's not even that deep. You know, we all we are all a walking, talking, amalgamation. Just a ball of all sorts of perception and experiences. Good things and bad things. All right, you got this whole complexity of life swirling within each and every single one of us. So as much good times and happy memories to be made, and great conversations and whatever romance and whatnot that another human could bring for you, that's not I don't believe that's how life works. At the very same time, they will bring with them their own problems and their own issues and all of that. It's you kind of can't have one without the other, kind of thing. So that means for you, brother, this is the best time of your life to focus on exactly whatever you want. This is why self-improvement, I so highly recommend it every single time I go on air, because it really is a rite of passage for men who, you know what, a guy is really the truth of what he wants is a guy is trying to take serious his own joy, to just want to be able to, I love my life, I love being me. That's the okay. This is where the hard work and the discipline and the effort and the focus and the concentration, this is where it begins to appear, in which you, yes, of course, bro, you're going to need to wield these things, practice them, apply them into your own life. Why? What would be the point for you to become the man where you're able to say that for yourself? That you have to imagine this and you have to believe in it, because it's not, I'm not, it's not like, do you believe in Santa Claus, bro? I'm trying to convince you to, like, come on, it would be within your best interest to believe in Santa Claus. No, 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 no. It's not, it's really not like that. I mean, the belief must come first, because it it will happen for you. It's a beautiful metamorphosis between belief and guarantee. You have to put yourself on that path, whatever it is for you. It really could be. It could be. It could be a new hobby. It could be getting away. It could be some time off. It could be a break. You know, from maybe like whatever you usually get up to in terms of entertainment. Maybe you need to change it up. You know, these are questions to, excuse me, ask yourself and think about. What is readily available for me in my life to help me implement a change? Because if it's not loneliness, and you see, when you start here and you go, okay, and you really try and take yourself on this path of self-improvement, on this path of self-discovery, then I believe very quickly you'll see it goes way deeper than I'm lonely. Because when a man is able to love himself, he loves his life, he loves being him. Loneliness just isn't possible. He will be alone, but he will not feel lonely. This is the massive difference I'm really trying to iterate tonight, because I mean this because that I because the answer is in this difference. That's what it is, really. You have two guys and they're both alone, but one hates life and one loves life. The difference, the only difference, I would argue, is how they're living it. That's what it really comes down to. But you see, now if you're with me on that, bro, you agree with me, that forces you to answer the question, why don't I love myself? Why don't I like being me? Why do I not enjoy my own life? And that, it's like a leap of faith, into the Grand Canyon of yourself. Here, everything, it all opens up. It really, and there could be so much, and you take your time and you go one at a time. It's not to be rushed. And you can't. It doesn't even really work like that. It could be a whole bunch of things. Oh my, okay, yeah. So that happened to me as a kid. That definitely didn't help, you know. And I really, I'm okay. So I'm not that lonely. No, I'm actually just really regretful. I'm experiencing the pain, the consequences of actions I wish I had not taken, however long ago. The acknowledgement of, you know, the overarching issue. Okay, if loneliness, is just, the individual, like you as the man embodying it, the overarching issue is maybe the universe, the world, the reality this loneliness exists in. Okay, trying to understand all of that, it really can be quite overwhelming because it is so much. But a little bit at a time, you have to, in order to understand, really what is actually going on here. If I could do all sorts of things for myself, I mean, this is the specifics, this is actual self-improvement, this is the work, like, working out would definitely help. Like, because it's all connected, the mind, the body, the soul, you know the heart, the brain, and it's all connected. So to have a healthy body is definitely conducive. I mean, that's gonna give you a much better chance at just enjoying all parts of your life. Because you must physically bring yourself to do exactly that. So then a man is faced, if that, maybe let that be let that be the first one. A man is faced with the question of, okay, why don't I do it? Why don't I exercise? I mean, that may lead to maybe a more superficial answer of, oh, I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy. But I mean, you have to keep going. You know, you cannot be satisfied until you were able to find a solution. And so you go past that, from I'm lonely. Maybe exercise would help, but I don't like exercising. Why don't I like exercising? I'm too lazy to. Oh, yeah. I'm not too lazy to. I don't want to put in the effort here. It's just too difficult. Oh, I have a problem doing difficult things. Huh? I have a problem doing difficult things because I never have. I have a problem doing difficult things because I don't believe I can pull through. I have a problem doing difficult things because whenever I tried to do anything hard when I was younger, I was always told I couldn't. I am quick firing random examples. And I'm doing that because that's actually like some of this is the same exact process I went through myself in order to grow into, and it's a work in progress. I'm by no means all the way there, but to mature into a man that could at the very least acknowledge, oh, I see. So I need to live like this if I'm going to have an honest shot at being able to enjoy my own life. Bro, I might end on this now. The beauty, my the kicker, or maybe like the punchline I have for you for all of this is that time will pass nonetheless. The world's still gonna spin, brother. You're still gonna go through all you're still gonna get every single tomorrow you were always gonna get, however many that is. You're headed for them, brother. You you do not have to. I would beg you, do not allow yourself to suffer through all of them. You know, kind of dragging your feet. You're getting dragged and yanked into the next day instead of you yourself leaping forward into it. That's for you, bro. This is all for you. For you to be able to do that is you are going to enjoy all the time that will pass no matter what. And so, for all you know, what cannot be denied is if you do that, that might be exactly how you meet all the people you're meant to. You know, it's so, it's, you have to allow yourself to open up to life. And I know how comfortable it feels, how safe it feels to kind of just stay at home. You close the door, you close the blinds, you keep to yourself, and it feels very justified because it's like guys are kind of like, but I'm not doing anything to anyone. I'm not breaking the law. I'm not harming anybody. I'm just using the internet all day in the way that I want to. I'm a grown man. That's my life. That's how I want to live it. That's fine. It's just you'll feel the truth. That you cannot deny, and it may manifest itself as loneliness. I mean, I just what I've been talking about all night is most often it's not actually, because when you go deeper, the loneliness doesn't really make sense anymore. You know it's actually a life you hate. It's actually a life you don't enjoy. And it's so tough because it's never been easier nowadays to live a life that you don't want. It's very effortless. You can kind of just sit back and chill and recline, put your feet up. It's really not that serious. You just press some keys and press enter, some clicks. You got your controller, you got whatever, you got your headset, headphones, whatever, bro. And you kind of just plug in and you stay plugged in. And life passes you by. And men know this, and they see it and they watch it, and they wonder to themselves, how did I let this happen? How do I let it continue to? You don't have to. You don't have to, brother. You never did. You were always strong enough to make this choice. My deep dive tonight was simply dedicated to revealing that choice for you. When you're ready, when you say so, you can go, you can embark towards what? Towards the best of yourself and the best people meant for you. You got to give this to me. You got to, I mean, we got to be able to agree on this. It'd be a lot more difficult to do that, Oh, be that joyful, have an enjoyable life and whatnot, and etc. Not be that lonely and whatever. When you're doing all sorts of things that keep you alone, that's what what I'm saying, bro. I mean, purpose really helps. You know, your movement, physical activity, to enjoy your own body, the cultivation of its health, the forging of its uh, physique. No, I should say not physique, aesthetics. There we go. You know, when you are so preoccupied uh, in the time that you have alone with just chasing the very best of yourself. I mean, that right there. That's the version of you that's going to thrive the hardest. That's the version of you that's going to be the most attractive. For like who or what? For souls that are interested in the exact same thing: joy, purpose, peace, fulfillment. You know, a great time in life, and that's my deep dive tonight. Kind of my solution for any man experiencing just loneliness that he's sick and tired of. He's good. He's all set. He doesn't really want to live like this anymore. Yeah, no, brother. There it is, right there. And the first step, and the first move. That's on you. You got this, bro. And if you really feel as though you don't, you feel free, to come right back here. As this is kind of what I do. I talk about anything and everything that goes into male self improvement, because you're watching the Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find, aimed at male self improvement surrounding philosophy, masculinity, wellness, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Kumo. I continue to reshape the modern male reality, giving any man who wishes to pull the very best out of himself a way to do that. Thanks so much for being here, man. If you like content like this, hit that subscribe button for me. And I hope to see you real soon in my next one. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much. Peace.